into wrestling news. All right. So first things first, after a year away from WWE, the rumors are true. The buildup has completed, and Bray Wyatt has returned to the WWE. The buildup concluded at Extreme Rules after the Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins match in the fight pit. But this kind of brings this into question. Now that everything is kind of wrapped up, how would you rate his return?
I rate it with the same rating that I gave on Twitter that pissed off a lot of fans.
Which was?
It outdid Punk's.
Elaborate. Talk about it.
What I love about Bray Wyatt is, as I said before, he's a great worker. You know, he has such a creative mind. Everything he does is always interesting and has you on the edge of your seat because he's very unique. He's something that we never seen before. And um what I loved about his return was it referenced the old all the way up to the most recent thing going on.
Yep.
Because the thing about Bray Wyatt is that he has so many different interesting storylines, characters, and evolutions, and I just love the fact that it was all included when he had his return. Like there was references to every little bit and piece. And I'm happy that they did that because all his creations were fantastic. They just all came off underrated because of the person fucking booking him at the end of all of it. So I love how they, like, regardless of that he's coming back reincarnated as something else at this point in time, um they did not want you to forget that. But all I couldn't help but to think about as well amidst all of this is, yeah, I did think it was better than CM Punk's return because it felt so wholesome. It felt so just right, you know? Um and considering everything that had happened with Punk coming, and he kind of came too late for my liking. I felt like when he first came back, it took me a few to give a fuck because I wanted him to come back in All Out 2019, and he just chose to come back when he chose to come back, and then he blew it after a year. You know what I mean? It's like, I know that when the baton gets passed to Bray, not only is it going to be magnificent because he deserves it, because he's just an amazing individual with a brilliant mind, that I know he's going to do something that's not only going to benefit not just himself and benefit just Hunter, but benefit the entire business and anyone else that he works with. That
Right.
this return is going to feel so wholesome. It's going to feel so worth it. And he deserves to have a lot of spotlight and have all the attention. He deserved to have, like, the whole entire wrestling world stop for 5 minutes and just be fixated on him. So I love that. I love that he had that moment. Some people said that the build or the return was too long and it was drawn out and it wasn't interesting. I thought it was cool as shit. I even went on Twitter and saw that they were handing out the crossword puzzles and trying to get you to figure out who that it is. Like, they were so invested. They had put, like, little details. It is not like something that they just dropped on us, like, in the last 3 weeks and had boom a return. Like, no, they've been plotting this. And people been screen grabbing on Twitter, like seeing the glove, seeing his silhouette, seeing references of the Fiend and stuff like that. I thought it was so well done and elaborate. And that's how Bray Wyatt is. That's how he works. He didn't just come out and just pop up. It was like slowly building. Like, is it him? Is somebody else? Are they bringing back a legend? Are they bringing in someone new from a different company? We don't know. It's like,
Right.
it should be him, but is he? Like, his was so mysterious, and I thought it was so cool, so fun. I'm so excited. I know that with him, I'm not going to get a rinse, wash, and repeat type of bullshit with Bray. I'm excited. I'm invested. People were pissed off that I said it was better than CM Punk. I still stand on it because CM Punk shit just burnt out for me within a couple of weeks. This, I just know that with the way that this man operates, is going to be new device after new device after new device after new device, and it's just going to be amazing. So I enjoyed it. It was lit. I want to hear your take on it.
All right, so boom. I thought you was bugging at first when you said that. Like when you said that it was better than Punk's return, but I kind of agree with you now. And the reason why I agree with you is because I felt like it did a great job at encapsulating his past, his present, potentially his future. Um, Also, somebody on Twitter pointed out which I thought was just fantastic was um, there was a tribute that he included right before he came out to the late great Brody Lee. The
Yes.
light shining through the door was the same light that was behind Brody when he made his debut in AEW. And I thought that
Stop
that was
making me
just
cry.
so dope. Like the level of the attention to detail that this man has to everything that he does is so spectacular. It makes him one of the greatest superstars, in my opinion, of all time. His creative acumen, his attention to detail, his ability to integrate people into stories and then, you know, them leave the stories differently than how they came in is just absolutely phenomenal. And I think it's a great way that he adds value to this business. Um, as far as how I would rate it, it's a 10 out of 10. It's a 5 out of 5, whatever you want to give it. It was the
Better
best.
than Punk.
It was
Yes.
better than Punk because I feel like this has more storyline, like creative storyline ramifications because we don't know what's next. We knew that Punk was going to wrestle some matches and it was going to be what it was. I feel like with Bray Wyatt, it's like you don't know what's going to be in the Wyatt 6. Is it going to be, the Wyatt, another version of the Wyatt family? Is he going to integrate the Firefly Funhouse? Is like you don't know what's going to happen. And I think that that's what makes this so special. Is that he paid tribute to his past, paid tribute to where he came from, but he left you suspenseful. And so
Yes.
that's kind of my take on it, for sure. But I think that Bray Wyatt and Cody have had the best returns of this year. Um,
Oh, with hands down, hands
Hands
down. I
down.
might even put Cody's return over Punk's as well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, with everything
I'm
shaping out in AEW the way that it is, I think that we can put any return over Punk at this point.
I'm
But
not even saying every return. She's like Cody's was iconic, man. Like,
yeah, that was a
God damn,
fantastic.
I can't wait for him to come back. Like, he
I,
was a
I
return that I didn't even. I was supposed to be underwhelmed in my head. I'm like, oh, Cody Rhodes is coming over. I guess it's definitely a work. It's definitely an inside job. But
right.
no, this fucking blew me away. And I know that whatever Bray does is gonna blow me the fuck away. And just another thing with Punk, all you knew that you were gonna expect from him is that the promos are gonna be fire. That's it,
And they
because
were.
he's never been like a reinventor with himself, like the way Bray's a reinventor with himself. And Punk was never like known for having like 5-star matches. His psychology is there. I'll give him that. I'm sorry, he doesn't have 5-star matches in my opinion. His promos are more interesting than his matches. I like his facial expressions and his psychology, but I don't think he's an amazing wrestler.
Him
Sorry,
and Taker was
not
a
sorry.
banger. Him and
Okay,
Taker
one
was
match.
definitely a 5. I
Taker
like
makes everyone looks good.
but I think next to Shawn, I think that was Punk. Next to Shawn, I think that was Taker's best Mania match was with Punk. So I think that and there were other matches that he put on that I think were great matches. His match with Del Rio in 2011 in Survivor Series for the WWE title, great match. I think that like Punk, a lot of like while we may not be on the same accord with Punk right now, I feel like Punk has a great body of work, and I do think that we do need to take that into account. There were a lot of great things that he did that were overshadowed because Survivor Series 2011, right? Like main event, Rock and Cena versus Miz and R-Truth. WrestleMania 29, where he was arguably like the main event with him and Taker, Rock and Cena main evented the show. When he and Jericho had the match for the W title, Rock and Cena was. So there's a lot of stuff that he did that were great things,
I'm not
but
saying
it
he
was.
didn't do anything great. I'm just saying he's more interesting as a character and on promo than he is like in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm more so intrigued by him speaking, his facial expressions, and what's going to happen after the match, not so much when the bell rings,
Right.
from bell to bell.
That
That's just
makes
my
sense.
personal but my how I feel. But I do feel like he is impactful in his own way.
That makes
I
sense.
just That's just how I feel. But yes, what was our next topic?